Welcome to the Listen for Life podcast with Genevieve Richardson. Genevieve is a speech-language pathologist rehabilitating adults with communication challenges after a stroke or due to a neurological impairment. Get equipped with knowledge from experts in the field and professionals you need to know. We'll hear stories and experiences from others who are navigating life with aphasia. So, put your earphones in and take a walk outside. This isn't just a podcast. This is a community, a resource, and a support system. We're in this together. Do life.
Welcome to the Listen for Life Aphasia podcast. My name is Genevieve, and over the next 5 episodes, we are talking about the holidays. The holidays specifically for aphasia inclusion or including someone who has a communication impairment. And I find this subject to be impactful. This subject is so important. And why do I know that? Because I work with folks with aphasia every single day for the last 30 years. They tell me their stories. They tell me how they want to connect with their friends and family and loved ones. They want to participate with their traditions and build memories and reflect on old memories. So what we will do over the next 4 episodes, the 4 after this one, is we will talk about a specific story, specific challenges, and how you as a family can overcome them. The key takeaway here is preparation. It's being thoughtful. It's thinking through. But before we get into the rest of what we're going to talk about in this series, I have exciting news. I have a new resource. It's going to be out very soon, sometime in November. It's the holiday edition of Aphasia Inclusion. And this is a workbook. It's going to be on Amazon. Yes, that Amazon, the biggest bookseller in the world. It's going to be on Amazon, and I'm very excited to share this with you, my community. So let's talk about what the big question is. What do people with aphasia want during the holidays? If they could ask for one gift, what would it be? The answer is to be included. They want to feel part of the celebrations. They don't want to be on the outskirts. They don't want to be a bystander. And that's why we're here to talk about this over the next 5 weeks. So the goal of this episode is to understand the perspective of the holidays. We all think about the holidays in different ways. We have our own experiences. We have our own desires for the holidays. Holidays are important to some, and for others, they are not as important. But I think if you have a person with aphasia in your life, we need to think about what's important for them. Because of their communication impairment, they're not able to initiate or do the things that they would normally want to do during the holidays. They need our help to make these holidays how they would like them to be. So the first step is to check in with your person with aphasia. What do they want? Which holiday do they want to emphasize? Do they want to do all of them? Our next big holiday is Thanksgiving here in the US, but maybe you celebrate other holidays. Whatever your family tradition is, whatever we talk about for holidays can be applied to other gatherings, celebrations, those kinds of things. So what we're going to do in these episodes is we're going to break down some common misconceptions about aphasia and communication. We're going to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll acknowledge what can go well and what might not go well during holiday gatherings and how to be prepared for both. That's why these episodes are going to be so impactful. It's about action. We're not just going to talk about it. We're going to do it. So you're going to hear stories from 4 individuals, 3 of which have aphasia, and the 4th individual has a speech communication impairment, makes his speech more difficult to understand. And many people in the general population, general public, if they are not in the aphasia world, if they're not in the communication disorders world, they may not know how to communicate with this person. And you think, well, why is that? Well, part of it is embarrassment. They don't want to do something that embarrasses themselves or the person that they're interacting with. They don't want to say the wrong thing or act the wrong way. So, what do they do instead? They avoid, they stay away from. They might feel bad about doing that, but it's the lesser of two evils in their mind. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to give just enough information about aphasia or communication impairments to others who are going to interact with our person who has these issues so that they feel comfortable interacting, so that they feel comfortable initiating, smiling, making contact, shaking the non dominant hand. We shake typically with our right hand, correct? Right now, look at your hands. Yes, we shake with our right hand, but the person with aphasia may have a weak right hand, or that hand may not be working at all. So we got to give that some thought. We got to help the person that's going to interact with our individual who has that weakened right hand. Reach out with your left. It sounds silly to actually have to say it, but it's not intuitive. Think about when you go to a party and you meet someone. This is a non aphasia event. Go to any party, and what are we thinking about? Making a good impression, eye contact, shaking hands, remembering their name, asking good questions to engage in conversation, right? We all get caught up in making a good first impression just at a general party. Well, make that tenfold if you're interacting with someone with aphasia. Now that adds an extra layer of stress of something that individual needs to think about. Like, I can't say what I might normally say. I might not be able to talk as fast, but these thoughts don't occur to them. They just know that they feel uncomfortable. So, what we'll get through in these next episodes is how to tackle all of these things. And then, as a supplement, uh, we'll give you an action step at the end of each episode, something to think about, to grab a piece of paper and a pen to write things down. Because what works good is writing it down, reflecting on what you've written, and figuring out what you're going to do about it, right? That is the action part. So, we're going to go through misunderstandings. We're going to go through communication barriers that can lead to misinterpretations. We're going to talk about noisy environments and overstimulating our person who has aphasia. What does this even mean? Think about a day when you're on the edge of being sick. Maybe you are feeling extra tired or you didn't sleep well that night and you go to a noisy, busy place. How does that make you feel? It fatigues you, right? It makes you wear out a lot quicker than you normally would if you had a full gas tank. That's the same thing for the person with aphasia. They already have a limited resource tank, a limited gas tank, so to speak. And extra noise, overstimulation, extra activity depletes that gas tank much, much faster. So we have to talk about the environment and how do we set that up for success? And it's not just for them. If we purposefully think about the environment, we are setting ourselves up for success too, right? It's about being purposeful and thoughtful and planning. So the person with aphasia already might be feeling isolated. And now we add the holidays on top of that, and they might be thinking, how am I going to keep up? How am I going to do what I used to do? Um, what are my grandkids going to say when they see me in a wheelchair? Or am I going to be able to start a conversation? Am I going to be able to finish what I want to say? Am I going to be able to hold on to my thoughts long enough to express myself? The person with aphasia may also be feeling um, a big dent in their identity. Maybe they were the host or hostess before. Maybe they led certain traditions with the family. Maybe they were known for their pumpkin pie or their pecan pie. Whatever the case is, maybe now they can't do it. So that is a change in identity. It's also a loss of role. And think about that for a minute. For those of you who don't have aphasia, what if you couldn't do the thing that you were known for doing at the holidays? That would feel kind of disconnected. You'd feel sad. You might have to grieve that to help get past it so that you can find a way to still participate. It is no different for the person with aphasia. They may also be feeling an emotional overwhelm. Emotions run high at the holidays, right? Just from the normal stress of holidays, whether you're hosting or attending, whether um, you are traveling somewhere or people are traveling to you. Let's say you have friends and family traveling from out of state and some of them are going to stay with you. Now you have the beds to make, the house to clean, plus the meal to prepare for the main holiday. But what about all the rest of the meals? There's a lot that goes into the holidays: traveling, not traveling, hosting, not hosting. And that's where we have to stop and think for a minute. What do we want from the holidays? What's the most important thing to achieve? And that's what these episodes are designed to do, to help get you thinking, preparing, and putting steps in place, steps of action to help make your holidays joyful, less stressful, and absolutely aphasia inclusive. All of these holiday challenges are real, but the good news is there's ways to address them. We're going to plan ahead. We're going to raise awareness among our guests, whether we're traveling or hosting. We're going to adapt activities. And maybe we even have to have a bit of a mindset shift. Maybe the person with aphasia was the main hostess. Well, let's rethink what that means based on building on their strengths. We're going to make sure there's a quiet space, a place where the person with aphasia can go to relax, or a quieter spot, maybe outside, to have one on one conversations with people. All of this can be set up. We're going to go through the tools and the strategies, and we'll talk about communication aids, all of these things. So I'm going to wrap up this first episode about aphasia inclusion at the holidays. And here's my action step for you from this episode. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and sit down and write out, what do the holidays mean for you? What is your role at the holiday? What do you want your role to be? Now think about your person with aphasia. What are their strengths for communication? What challenges can you anticipate that they're going to have with the people that are going to be attending this holiday? So write this down, reflect on it, and then keep this list handy, because as we go through subsequent episodes, we're going to come back to this list and we're going to build on it. So I told you about my workbook coming out on Amazon, and we're working really hard behind the scenes to get that published so that it's available for you and your family this holiday season. We're anticipating mid-November, but you never know how things are going to go. Keep working through these episodes with us. Take your notes, tune in every week. Share these episodes with friends and family, because this is a good first step for educating and giving them tangible tools they can use to make the holidays aphasia inclusive. So remember, a little bit of planning and a lot of heart can turn the holidays into a time where everyone feels included. I'm going to leave you today with a saying that my new friend Sarah shared with me. You know how we leave somebody and we say, have a great day, have a wonderful day, I often say, have a fantastic day. Well, Sarah likes to say, may all your days be wonderful. And she's emphasizing days because why do we just have to have one wonderful day? Let's make all our days wonderful. And especially, let's make all of our holidays wonderful this season. Thank you for joining me today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Listen for Life podcast. We hope you feel empowered and supported. Head over to listenforlifepodcast.com to see the show notes with links and information from today's episode. Do you have a topic, a resource to share, or a guest recommendation? Inquiring minds want to know. Let us know in the comments section. Wishing you a fabulous week.